Imagine being a parent and getting that phone call that your child is missing. Oftentimes, it is a runaway and not treated with the same urgency as other cases. But with those incidents on the rise, there is a new push here in Western New York, now backed with some state funding to improve the response. Governor Kathy Hochul launching a 2-year pilot program through Best Self Behavioral Health, the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo, and the Buffalo Police Department. This will prioritize safety, address underlying trauma, and prevent criminalization of runaway kids. Now, here are some numbers that are very important. Last year, Erie County reported 680 missing child cases. 638 of them involved runaway youth. In the city of Buffalo, similar numbers, 522 missing children, almost 500 runaways. Sam Vaughn is the director of the Scott Beeler Child Advocacy Center at Best Self, and he joins us live here tonight. Sam, this seemed like a big announcement when we got it earlier today. What can you tell us about Best Self's role in this and how much of a difference you think it can make?
This is a huge deal. This is a huge deal for our community. More importantly, this is a huge deal for the kids and families that Best Self serves every day. We're really proud of the partnership with Buffalo Police and the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo to be providing this support in order to make this happen. Really what we're looking to do and what Best Self's role in this is providing our clinical expertise as well as leveraging our multidisciplinary team that's inside of the Scott Beeler Child Advocacy Center. For those of you who aren't familiar, the multidisciplinary team inside the Scott Beeler Child Advocacy Center consists of many of our partners: Buffalo Police, Child Protective Services, the Department of Social Services, Legal Department, the District Attorney's Office. Oshai Children's Hospital has a children's clinic inside of our clinic. So really what Best Self's role is to leverage the resources of the CAC to best help the community. But the other piece that we've really thought about in terms of this project, and it was reflected on Tuesday and will be reflected again on next Tuesday, is we're going out into the community at Martha Mitchell and we're asking folks, what is it that is currently out there and what is it that we need? What is it that we need to pay attention to? So before we go out and build this, we want to make sure the community's input is a part of that process.
I've covered stories here over the years, talking with parents whose children have run away, and sometimes you run into these roadblocks, right, in terms of getting people's attention. There isn't an Amber Alert issued, for instance, but these are terrifying moments for these parents, and we saw the numbers there, hundreds of cases last year right here in Erie County and specifically in the city of Buffalo. How do you approach that conversation with folks about why it's not just a runaway case, right? So many people seem to dismiss that.
Yeah, so I mean, oftentimes we think about children are running to than rather running from. And often what they're running to is perhaps a house that they're familiar with or a friend that they may be more comfortable with if something were to happen at home. The issue is then what happens once they've left that house. Once they've left that presumably safe residence in which they were currently residing in, what happens along the journey? And so what we know in terms of our current statistics, as well as working with some other CACs across the nation who have started this prior to New York State, is many of these cases, after you're looking at them in a long period of time, often involve child abuse or trafficking. And the difficulty in identifying that with our runaway youth is it's often difficult to find them. But in that brief interaction of finding them and returning them home, there wasn't something like the CAC that could help interview those children and link them to services to make sure that if they were to run away again, we have some more eyes on them, but they also have more resources to keep them engaged in services. And so that's one of the things that we think will be most supportive, is really helping keep an eye on these kids as they move through their lives and move through inevitably a system that we hopefully can help them stay out of and stay safe.
Finally, Sam, I only have about 30 seconds left, but is the ultimate goal here to bring those numbers down, and what practically do you do to get to that point?
Yeah, we want to bring those numbers down. Those numbers are really high. And so the way that we start doing it is by connecting the resources that currently exist and bringing in a youth coordinator who this will eventually create as a whole position unto itself that will sort of be the first responder and the connector between law enforcement and our many partners. So the goal is the more kids getting interviewed, the more ways we can identify abuse that's going on, linking them to services, therapy, residential, anything that Best Self can provide, and hopefully keeping them out of the system and keeping them safe.
And creating that position, obviously, state funding that was announced today, important to that. Sam Vaughn, director of the Scott Beeler Child Advocacy Center. Sam, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Michael. Take care.